Hi everyone, we thought we'd have a really quick conversation this morning. I'm Jo Hompstead. I'm the founder of a business called ConnectUp, and Angie is the Managing Director of Evolution for Business, and we're embarking on a really exciting project together to bring some meaningful support to leaders and leadership teams. And we just thought we'd have a bit of a conversation about sort of why we're doing it. And I think for me, there's something around my experience of kind of working with teams, but also kind of what I'm picking up through all sorts of other places. I was on a Humans First call earlier this week, and similar themes coming out just in terms of actually the way we do business historically, the way a lot of people lead historically, maybe was starting to not quite be right, maybe was a little bit broken, particularly in terms of that very hierarchical kind of patriarchal kind of setup, and that's not really been working for a little while. And I think just recent events have possibly just brought that into sharper focus. So I don't know, just as a starter, I don't know what you think about that, Angie, or what you've picked up.
Yeah, I think, Jo, it's something that I'm starting to see more and more of. In fact, certainly the last few months, it certainly feels that because of all the external pressures that everybody's been going through these last 15 months or so, that we are in a space where we need some new thinking now. And certainly a lot of the leaders that I work with and other business owners that I do chat to anyway, just in passing, of all commenting about how little space they've got with regards to headspace. So with their thinking, time and planning and strategic vision, it's really quite challenging because they're getting so swept into the everyday and these constant changes, which is fine having change, but I think people are quite fatigued at the moment. And it's just understanding how we can change things and help them to lead better, because it is getting to a point where it's not sustainable at all. So it needs to change. It really does.
Yeah, there's also this piece I've picked up where I think people are thinking, what's the new way, what's the new normal, and almost looking for a magical answer to that. And actually my sense is that there isn't a magical answer to that. There isn't a thing, there isn't a blueprint, and actually maybe what we need to be doing is getting a bit more comfortable with that ambiguity and that kind of discomfort, and not knowing the answers and not having to know the answers for the whole team, and actually being quite comfortable with kind of co-creating, I suppose, co-defining what that might look like.
I think it's a good point, because the other aspect of it is people may think that we'll go and use something that's tried and tested. Maybe there's books written about it, but there's nothing we can apply to that. There's many elements of books out there that can certainly help. But you're absolutely right. This map needs to be redrawn completely on what will work. And every team is different. Every single person's experienced it in a different way. So it's being quite mindful of that as well, that we don't sort of dial that back. We need to be able to find something that will fit teams, because the humanity and the compassion has to be part of that leadership around the engagement, to make sure that we retain people too, because as business starts to, the confidence starts to rebuild, and the world, the economy gets stronger, so all of a sudden it won't be employers' choice of people, it'll be employees' world. So if we want to attract really good staff and retain good staff and good teams, then that's something we need to be mindful of. So certainly as leaders, I think there's several layers here. So you've got the senior teams, the MDs, the CEOs, the CFOs, who are perhaps needing a bit of support here to help them with their teams to understand the strategic vision, and from the aspect of what they're going to do with this new map and what that looks like for people, and right down through all the different layers of business. So with wider teams too, with their leadership teams.
Yeah. So we called it the new path because we're both really passionate about supporting people to navigate what that looks like. And there may be a short-term destination, but actually it's more about how you get there, and really about sort of human-centric leadership, the skills that we need to kind of co-create and get things up from the ground up to make sure that everybody is really sort of part of that. And for me, it's about holding that space for people. Again, I'm just hearing people are so busy doing the do, absolutely understandably. Everyone's kind of quite tired, but actually part of what we want to do is enable that space to think about, okay, what does agile mean now? You know, what does engagement mean now? And give you some sort of tools and techniques around that. But you know, really, it's something that's really close to our hearts. It's something we always talk about when we pick up with each other, and so we thought, hang on, let's maybe just try and do something to support. So kind of that's what it's all about. So more to follow, isn't it, Angie, between sort of now and September time?
There is definitely things to look out for, because we're after, I know that Jo, we're after this fresh perspective to try and help people, aren't we, to work through that and find a bespoke programme that will be a much better fit to overcome some of the challenges, and maybe more that are coming through, just to try and help with the people side and maintain that strategic vision and your profitability whilst keeping your teams engaged and happy.
Yeah, absolutely. What a perfect end. Yeah, wonderful. So watch this space, everyone, and you know, any thinking or ideas that you've got around this space would be really great to sort of open up a conversation with you. But for now, all the best, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.